Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Jenny Dildine, the LDS Mission Coach, and you are listening to the LDS Mission Podcast, episode number 80. Are you in passive action? I'm Jenny, the LDS Mission Coach, and whether you are preparing to serve a mission, currently serving, a returned missionary, or a missionary mama like me, I created this podcast just for you. Are you searching for epic confidence, ready to love yourself and to learn the how of doing hard things? Then let's go. I will help you step powerfully into your potential and never question your purpose again. It's time to embrace yourself, embrace your mission, embrace your life, and embrace what's next. Hello and welcome to the podcast. Sending you so much love wherever you are. Maybe you're preparing to serve a mission. Maybe you're on the mission right now. Maybe you have been home from your mission just a little bit, or maybe you've been home for quite some time. Maybe you're a mission president or a missionary mama. I am here to help in whatever way that I can. One of the things that I've been doing is sharing this podcast on a Google Drive with missionaries who are currently serving. So if you don't have a missionary right now, you might not know that, but they have access to Google Drive so that they can share documents with one another. Also pictures from home. That's how we used to share pictures with my boys when they were on their missions. So I have just been sharing that with all of the missionaries because I just want to. And I used to share it on Facebook, which worked pretty well, but this is even better. So if you're interested in getting that podcast on a Google Drive, either for yourself or for your missionary, just send me an email, jenny@jennydildine.com. Just say, hey, I would like the Google Drive for the podcast. I get those emails all the time, and it's super fun. The more tools that we get out to more missionaries, the more successful they're going to feel, the less mental and emotional struggles that they're going to have. And that is what makes me excited, is helping you help them, and helping this podcast helping missionaries who are serving all over the world. I hope your Christmas was good. Did you guys have a good week? Were you with family? Were you with members? Did you have to work? What was going on? We had an awesome Christmas. And we didn't have our married kids this year, but that's okay. We'll get them next year. And we had them for Thanksgiving, which was a super, super good time. And I love that my kids have lots of people that love them. So that is a gift, to have lots of people loving your kids. So shout out to my boys' in-laws and to my daughters-in-law. I love them all. Today, I thought it would be fun to share a little bit of one of the reviews from the podcast. So, as always, thank you so much, you guys, for leaving reviews on the podcast and for sharing it with everybody that you know that is involved with the mission experience at all. This is from Nicole W.T. Jenny's tools are definitely invaluable for all missionaries and for us moms that are trying to help our missionaries. I will be forever grateful to Jenny and the help she is offering all missionaries. Nicole, thank you so much. That was so nice of you for leaving a review. And I'm glad that these tools are helping you and your missionary or missionaries. Sometimes I get emails from people that say, I have 3 missionaries out at a time. I can't really imagine what that would be like. My 2 missionaries, my oldest 2, and we might have more in the family, we'll see. But my oldest 2, we had 4 weeks together as a family in between the time when one got home and the next one left. But then COVID also happened, right? Everyone remember COVID? Yeah, so then my second son came home, and then we had 5 months together as a family. So that was kind of a crazy time, a time I didn't really expect, but also that I loved because of the time that we got to spend together. So Thanks again, Nicole, for leaving a review and for your feedback and kindness. All right, you guys, today I was sort of thinking about how many of us, as we move into the new year, are going to be setting some goals. Now, you can decide for yourself if you're the type of person that likes to set a goal or set some goals, or if you are the type of the person that doesn't really like to set goals. I'm probably into the second category, if I'm being honest. I tend to have one kind of cloud goal that I'm working towards all of the time. And if you're wondering what I mean by a cloud goal, you could go back to episode number 57, Habits, Goals, and Dreams. I think we do sometimes get confused in the new year. We tell ourselves, I'm going to set this goal to work out this many days a week or whatever. And what we actually are meaning is that we want to create that habit. So I just think that would be a good one to listen to as we head into the new year, to kind of separate out what's a habit, what's a goal, and what is a dream. It's just super useful and a better way to think about what you're trying to accomplish. But even if you are just trying to create a better habit, accomplish a goal, or you're just taking steps towards creating your dream, I wanted to give you a little bit of a tidbit that has been really helpful for me, and also something that you can kind of pay attention to in your life, whether you're doing this or not. And what it is it's called passive action. I've also seen this with some of my clients when they talk about district meetings. I will tell them about the difference between passive action and massive action. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, that's my district meeting, totally. Or my son, I was talking to him about his mission recently, and he's like, oh, that was the most frustrating thing about district meetings, is they were just so full of passive action. So let me tell you what passive action is. Then we're going to give a few examples, and I'm going to share an analogy with you that will help you sort of see whether you're stuck in passive action or whether you're taking what I will call massive action. So passive action is where we're doing a bunch of stuff that keeps our brains busy, and our brain sort of gets tricked into believing that we're actually making progress towards our goal. So let's say that we have a goal of, I don't know, let's say a certain number of contacts that we make in the mission. Passive action would sound like this. It's we're talking about the contacts, we're making plans for the contacts, we're talking about how we can love those contacts better, we're talking about what we should be teaching those contacts, but we actually never get out and just start contacting people. We don't pick up the phone and call, we don't start knocking on doors or meeting people in the park and actually contacting people. Or let's say we have a goal to choose our major before the end of January, really settle in on our major. This would be us reading about the different majors. It would be us reading about what the pay structure is like. It would be us, or what kind of pay we could get after we graduate. It would be reading about the job placement and getting on Facebook and talking to a lot of people that have that job. It would be watching documentaries about that or whatever, right? So notice how we trick our brain into believing that we're actually making progress towards our goal. Sometimes what I see with coaches and that are starting a coaching business is that instead of going out there and trying to find people to coach, they get caught up in what do the what's my branding colors, what's my mindset supposed to be, and maybe I need to coach myself about getting coaching clients. Do you know what I mean? So Nothing wrong with passive action, but sometimes because passive action feels comfortable, we often can get stuck there. So the opposite of passive action is what we're going to call massive action. Now, I don't want you to get confused about what massive means. Massive doesn't mean like something epic. Massive meaning just consistent actual actions that we take, that we keep doing and keep doing and keep doing until we get what we want to achieve. So going back to the example of like maybe getting a certain number of contacts by the end of the week or the end of the month on the mission, instead of just talking about how we can help, talking about how we can do those things, having meetings about how we can help and do those things, we actually just do them. Maybe one district meeting is just getting out there and all of you meet in one place and then go out and do the thing instead of talking about it. Or maybe you're in some kind of a leadership position in your student ward or in your young married ward. Instead of just talking about how you can help the members and having meetings about how you can help members and doing research about what members need right now and what young adults need right now, you could just send a text or go talk to someone or go help someone. Again, back to the choosing a major. Instead of just researching the major, which would be passive action, you could just take a few classes in that major. That would be massive action. It's taking consistent steps, consistent actions forward until you get the thing that you want. Here's another example. If maybe you're post-mission and you're dating, okay, and you have this girl that you're interested in your ward that you want to ask out. Passive action would be like talking to your friends and be like, should I ask this person out? Is this a good person to ask out? And then maybe talking to that person's roommates and being like, what does that person think of me? Should I ask them out? Do you think they'd want me to ask them out? And we'd maybe like Facebook stalk her or like check out her stuff on Instagram or whatever, instead of just picking up the phone and calling or shooting her a text and asking her out. So notice how our brain thinks all of the research is actually moving the needle towards what we want, but ultimately it's the action that moves us towards what we want. Also, we could use this as like getting a job. So if you are in passive action, you might be doing a lot of research. You might be even like a lot of, this is kind of coming to my mind right now. Maybe we're just praying about something over and over and over, trying to get an answer. And don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying we shouldn't pray about these things, but sometimes we can get stuck in this loop of being passive instead of just filling out 20 job applications. Do you see the difference? Like, what's interesting is even though in passive action our brain thinks we're moving towards our goal, we're not actually. We have to take some steps usually in there, take some actions to get towards it. And the way towards a goal is usually figured out in the doing of it, in the doing of filling out the applications, in asking that girl out, in taking a few classes, in just calling someone up and talking to them. That is how you figure out the how of getting to what you want, is in the doing, not just about the thinking and mulling it over and doing research about it. The analogy that I like to use with this is, well, first of all, let me tell you a story. Is years ago when I was at Rick's, which is now called BYU Idaho, but I still prefer to call it Rick's, 2-year school back then. And then I went to BYU in Provo. But my roommates, or some of my friends maybe, I think it was actually, in my in my major. I was a theater major back then, PS. So that's kind of a fun fact. But anyway, some of the people from my theater major were like, okay, you totally need to go skiing with us. What? You're from Seattle. You've never been skiing? You should totally have been skiing by now. So why don't you come skiing with us? And I said, okay, I guess I'll go. Yeah, that sounds good. I was like, let's do it. So instead of like researching about skiing and reading about skiing, I went and I was just like, okay, let's just do it. Let's just see what happens. Well, I spent all day on the bunny hill by myself, by the way. And my roommates, those people, the people from my major would check in on me and be like, everything going okay? But I was basically there by myself all day. And then finally, the last minute, I don't know if they just felt sorry that I had been by myself all day, but they were like, just come down one hill with us. Well, I did. I was like, okay. First thing, right when I got to the top of the hill on that ski lift, I fell and slid off the ski lift. Like I didn't fall off the ski lift, but then like I bit it right on my way off of it. And then I pretty much like skied 2 feet and then bit it and tumbled and tumbled and tumbled. Skied 2 more feet, bit it, tumbled and tumbled. I think it was like a black diamond or something. I don't know what these people were thinking. Anyway, I didn't actually like do very well at all. I needed a little bit more time on that bunny hill. But since then, I haven't been a fan of skiing. And as a coach, I know that I just have to go again in order to like kind of face the fear. But they actually later, it was like the ski place was closing down and all the lights on the hill were on, and they had to like send up a rescue thing to get me and pull me off the mountain. Not that I was like injured to that point, but I just couldn't ski. So it was like going to take me hours to get down because I'd go 2 feet, bite it, roll, 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 try to get back up, put my skis back on. Anyway, it was a whole situation. But the analogy that I want to share with you is, let's say we were learning to ski or to snowboard. Passive action is researching about it. It's watching videos about it. It's watching YouTube stuff about it. It is reading books about it. It's talking to your friends about snowboarding. It's researching the right snowboards. It's trying to figure out what's the right like snow gear to wear. All of that is passive action versus massive action, which is basically what I did that day, which is like you just put on a snowboard and you go for it. Now, it's not wrong to be in passive action, right? Some research is necessary. But what we have to sort of like notice about ourselves, and what you might want to notice, is that when we're in passive action, it feels protective to our brains, and so it likes to stay there. Because then we don't have to open ourselves up to failure, really. Right? So there's a couple ways you can think about this. You can either just be onto your brain and say, I notice I'm in passive action for now. I'm choosing this and I'm aware that I'm choosing it. Right? Just be intentional about that. I'm in passive action and I want to be, and I'm going to be until this certain time. Like I'm going to be in passive action until the second week in January, or I'm going to allow myself this much time to be in this space where I'm researching, and then after that we're done. We're moving on. Or just be onto your brain and don't get stuck there at all. Do a little bit of research, set a deadline, and then go. The one little line from The Little Mermaid came to me as I was preparing this. And it's the part where Ursula is talking to Ariel. And she says, the only way to get what you want is to become a human yourself. Do you remember that when she says that to Ariel? And Ursula was actually right about that. The only way to get what you want, my friend, is to just get in there and get it. Most things in life, I venture to say all, well, not really all, but most things in life, you've got to go get. And it's up to you. And it doesn't happen while we're just researching. It happens when we're out there doing. Now, don't also get into the trap of thinking that doing is the way. Remember, your thought has to create your feeling, which drives your action. If that action's not aligned with a feeling that feels good to you, you're going to get burnout. But do know that some action, some discomfort is going to be required for you to take that massive action. So whatever goal that you've set for yourself, whether it's on the mission, whether it's post-mission, whether it's an amount of weight you want to be, by the end of March or by the summer, or whether it's a job, whatever it is you're working towards, one really good question to ask yourself is, did I move the needle today? Did I just talk about it? Did I just talk about getting a job, or did I send out 20 job applications? And so it's a good measuring stick, one I use for myself all the time. Did I move the needle today? Did I actually get closer to what I want, to the goal that I have, to that cloud goal? Or was I in passive action? And you guys totally get to decide. Be on to your brain when it gets stuck in passive action, and you will get better and better at creating what you want by feeling that discomfort and moving forward anyway. Go strap on a snowboard or some skis and head down that mountain. It's going to be a little scary, but you can do it. All right? Everyone, have the most amazing week, and we will talk to you next time. Have a happy New Year. Serving a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints can present a unique set of challenges, and many of those challenges you might not even see coming. So you're going to want a unique set of solutions. It's easier than you think to overcome worry and anxiety, serve the successful mission you've always dreamed of, and navigate your post-mission experience with confidence. That is why I created some amazing free goodies that I'm sharing in my show notes. Maybe you'll want to grab the free training for preparing missionaries, my video course for RMs, or maybe you and I should hop on a free strategy call. If you're ready to take your preparedness to serve or your preparedness to come home to the next level, then go grab one of those freebies. And in the meantime, no matter which part of the mission experience you are involved in, just know that Jenny, the LDS mission coach, is thinking about you every single day.